Hey guys, it's Benedictines, the truth. If you've been following this channel for a while, you'd realize that my message extends beyond antinatalism. I'm not saying that people should stop having children because I'm an antinatalist, but saying that people should stop having children makes me an antinatalist. I have more reasons to say that people should not have children. And most of these reasons are not really addressed by the philosophy of antinatalism. I understand that there's a lot of suffering in the world. I understand that there are a lot of people who are not happy. I understand that we didn't ask to be here. But I have more reasons to be saying we should not have children. These reasons are covered in the idea of Gnosticism. So I would say I'm a Gnostic, but not in a religious sense. I would say that I'm a Gnostic in a philosophical sense. I do not really believe in what's written in the books that were discovered in 1945 in Nag Hammadi in Egypt. But I believe that we live in a world that is evil. I believe that if this world was created, it was not created by a benevolent being. And all the evidence points to Gnosticism being true. All the evidence points to Gnosticism being true. When we look at the way things work in the world, if we are going to be truly honest with ourselves, we can't conclude that this world was created by a loving being. We can't conclude that. It is much more believable to say that this world was created by an evil being. That is why even religions that are against Gnosticism say that this world is evil and there is an evil being that is actually manipulating us in this world. But Gnostics are saying no. Whatever designed this reality is evil. It's not the being that's actually manipulating us that's evil, but it's the designer, it's the architect of this reality. That's what Gnostics are saying. Christianity teaches its followers that there is a God who created the world to be perfect, but something happened, and that is why the world is not perfect. There's someone who didn't want the world to be perfect. There's someone who wanted people to suffer, and that is why we're suffering. Gnostics are saying, no. The God that you believe in created this reality, and He created this reality to be the way that it is, and is using whoever you are blaming as the scapegoat, but He's the one who's actually evil. He's the architect of all this. He wants the world to be the way that it is today. He wants everyone to be trapped here. Doesn't that make sense to believe when you look at the way that things work in the world? If really the devil existed and he was the enemy of God and God was powerful, why would He not get rid of him? Why would He want us to keep on reproducing? Why would He want us to have children that the devil is going to manipulate? There are a lot of horrible things that are happening in the world, and these horrible things happen to innocent people, why would God want us to keep on procreating if really this realm is evil? Why wouldn't He create another realm and make sure that the devil does not have access to the beings that He's going to put in that realm? It makes more sense to believe that whoever created this reality does not care about us. Whatever created this reality was selfish, and this reality was created for selfish reasons. That's what makes sense to believe. I believe in Gnosticism in a philosophical sense, that this is not good. So if it was created, it was not created by a benevolent being. I don't believe in what's written in the Bible, in the Gnostic Gospel, because I don't believe that they could have known what they claim, right? But it makes sense to believe that this world was created by an evil being that wanted us to be trapped here and to suffer. And it's through knowledge that we can free ourselves. We need to know who we are. Who am I? Why am I conscious? How did I become conscious? Where do I really come from? What is this place? How do I get out of this place? I need to know the secrets of the universe in order to be able to free myself. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you realize that that has always been my message. My message is that this world is not good. It doesn't matter what we believe. You know, there are people who will say this world is good. They will even say to you that, oh, look at all these good things that are happening to these people. Are you saying that we must take all of that away from them because some people are suffering? There was a time when I actually liked debating with Christians. I mean, I still like debating with Christians, but there was a time when I actually really loved debating with Christians. If they believed in a false prophet, I mean, all prophets are fake, but you know, some of them are worse. So let's say someone believes in a false prophet that's just manipulating them and that just wants their money, and he's a psycho. He doesn't really care about the members of his church. I will try to show them that, hey man, the guy that you believe in, the guy that you follow isn't real. And they will not believe me. They will say that I have demons, you know, say that I'm a bad person. I should just let them believe what they believe. But most of them will later realize that the guy that they were following was false. But when I was telling them, they weren't able to realize that the guy that they were following was false. They believed that the guy that they were following was good, but I knew that he wasn't good. And that's what really matters. What I'm saying is that even though there are people who believe that this world is good, even though there are people who believe that this world was created for a good reason, even though there are people who are really enjoying their lives, I'm saying that no, this wasn't created for a good reason. You know, the prophets that these people were following were not good, even though they believed that these prophets were good. What I'm saying is that this world, this realm is not good, even though some people believe that this realm is good. And that is the real reason why I'm saying people should not be having children. if the world is not good, we should not be having children. No matter how good some people's lives are, no matter what we desire, you might want to have a child because you think that your child will be successful and they're going to help you, they're going to take you out the hood, or they're going to take you from a bad situation into a better situation, and you don't know how to free yourself, right? So you're like, I'm gonna just have a child and I'm gonna train the child, give them everything that I can give them to help them win in life so that they will pull me out the mud. What I'm saying to you is that all of these things that you want, all of these things that you desire in this matrix are not real. This is what's being used to keep you interested. See, the devil is showing you the world. Here's the world. Just procreate and your children are going to succeed in life and you will have the world. You become powerful. You have everything that you wanted. I'm saying don't fall for the temptation. I'm saying that it's all a lie. What you're really doing is bringing more slaves into this world, and these slaves are going to be used to power the matrix. See, that's what the whole thing is about. This is more like a self-saving entity. It cares about itself. So when you bring a child into this world, you are bringing a conscious being that is going to be used for the interest of the matrix. So that being is going to be a slave. But what's really messed up is that they are conscious. So they will be aware of their own suffering. And that is the problem. If they weren't conscious and they were feeding this beast, I would say it is what it is. It is what it is. But the problem is that they are self-aware. So they will be aware of all the wrong things that are happening in the world. All the wrong things that are happening, so that the matrix will be fed. Oh, man. I guess this is how the matrix I guess this is how the matrix wants our energy. Like, it was like they weren't supposed to be load shedding right now. They weren't supposed to be load shedding. But usually when it rains, it is raining right now. Yeah, they weren't supposed to be load shedding. You see, they weren't supposed to be load shedding. It's the demiurge, man. He's threatened. I tell you, but we're gonna record outside, so bear with me. Because what I'm telling you is the truth, you know. What I'm telling you is the truth, man. We must stop feeding this beast that doesn't care about us. And you can see that. You can see that this beast doesn't care about you. You know, everything that you believe about this realm is a lie. The electricity will probably come back because I didn't stop recording. Sometimes I can predict what's gonna happen. I know how this thing works. guess I'll have to bring the ISO. Oh, it doesn't even allow me to like change the ISO settings when I'm recording. Just bear with me. I'll have to pause the video and start recording. So what I'm saying is that we must stop feeding this beast. We must stop giving this beast what it wants, what it needs to survive. It cannot survive without our energy. And you can see that. That's practical. If we stop doing what we're told we must do, if we stopped working, if all of us as a collective decided that, hey, this is bad, this is not good, and we're not going to continue to feed this system because we're not really gaining much, what will happen? What do you think will happen? If you stop going to work, what do you think will happen? They'll try to replace you, right? If everyone who works where you work stop going to work, what do you think will happen? They'll try to replace everyone, but then if everyone refused to be used as a replacement, what do you think will happen? You know exactly what will happen. So this system relies on our energy. It doesn't rely on anything else. It relies on our energy. It relies on us as a collective. Without us, this beast cannot exist. So really, if you decide that you're gonna stop feeding it, if you decide that you're gonna stop giving it what it wants, and then you will be freeing yourself, and you will be freeing a lot of people, which is actually what you should be doing. The idea is to free yourself and free others as well. The idea is not to just free yourself. If you decide that you're not going to feed this system what it wants, you're not only freeing yourself, but you're also freeing other people, which is something that is very necessary. But if you don't know what I'm telling you, you won't even think of freeing yourself, right? If you believe what you were programmed to believe, you will not even think about freeing yourself. Even if you don't believe in religion, you still hold religious beliefs. This is something that a lot of people do not realize. Like, even if you don't believe in religion, you still think like a religious person. You still think like a Christian. You're still limited by the same beliefs that Christians are limited by. What about, yeah. You are limited by the same beliefs that people who are religious are limited by. Even if you are an atheist, even if you are an agnostic, like I don't know if I can know if there is a God, or if I'm supposed to believe in a God, you know. Maybe that cannot be known, but you're still controlled by the same beliefs that control people who believe and people who do not believe. People who say, no, there is no God. I believe in evolution. I believe in the Big Bang. And the reason why things are that way is because the people who run this society, the people who control what is happening. Let me pause this. I don't like recording outside because people will be playing music, and I don't want YouTube to give me copyright strikes. But yeah, the people who control the world have the same mindset that the demiurge has. Like, they want to control other people. They want indoctrinate other people. They don't want people to have free will, or to be able to make their own choices, to have their own beliefs. It's Alright guys, I had to keep on pausing the video because I don't want to get a copyright strike. You know how YouTube is. Now back to what I was saying. The people who make decisions for us are exactly like the Christian God. You see, they want to control you. They want to tell you what to think. They want to tell you what to do. They want to give you rules that you're supposed to follow. You're not supposed to be an independent thinker. You're not supposed to stand up for yourself and view things the way that you view things. You're supposed to be like the other people that they are controlling. Listen, the Christian God didn't want people to be free. They didn't want people to think for themselves. They didn't want people to ask questions. Like, don't ask questions. You just have to trust me. You have to believe that I know what I'm doing. You have to believe that I love you. You have to believe that I'm right. Even if you see that I'm not right, you must believe that I'm right. You must believe that I love you. Even if you think I'm not powerful, but you should believe that I'm powerful. Even if there's no proof that I exist, you should believe that I exist. You see? The people who control us are kind of like that. They want us to just follow them blindly. They don't want us to stand up for ourselves and make our own decisions. They don't want to give the power back to us. We mustn't have the power. They must be the ones with power. They must be the ones who tell us, hey, you cannot go to that place at this time because we said so. If you do decide to go to this place at this time, then you're going to be punished, and we won't be wrong to punish you. So this system is like this from top to bottom. Your boss at work, he wants to control you. Your parents wanted to control you. Your teachers wanted to control you. You see? From top to bottom, it's like that. So it makes sense to actually believe that whatever gave us this reality is just like the people who are in power. And it wants those kind of people to be in power because they are doing exactly what he wants. See? They are taking power from people, telling people what to do, what to think. So he's able to work through these people. That is why you mustn't trust people who are in power at all. Like once a person becomes a millionaire, once a person becomes a billionaire, you must not really trust them, because it's not really easy for a person who's truly good to actually be able to make that kind of money. Like if you're going to stand up for what is right in the world, it's not going to be easy for you to make a lot of money. You know, the world doesn't work that way. The world doesn't really reward good behavior, and it doesn't. You know, some people don't want to believe that, but it doesn't. If you're going to stand for the truth, you will see that this world doesn't reward good behavior. But if you're going to be very manipulative, if you are going to want more for yourself, if you're going to manipulate other people, if you're going to be bossy, if you're going to, you know, not care about the needs of other people, the matrix is going to reward you, because it rewards people who don't really care about other people. It's always been like that. That is why if you treat people good, they tend to take advantage of you. Like it gets to a point where they just take advantage of you. You know, they don't even appreciate you. They will end up appreciating people who don't even treat them good. Have you realized that? You treat people good and they end up taking you for granted. You treat people bad, they respect you. Remember 50 Cent said, respect comes from admiration and fear. To make people admire you, you shouldn't be giving them everything. You see? If you want people to admire you, you mustn't be giving them everything. Because they end up taking you for granted. If you want people to fear you, you must make them work for everything. Make them think that you don't care about you, so that they'll be afraid of you. They'll think, hey, if I mess things up, there's gonna be consequences, because this guy doesn't care about me. See? It's by design. The world was supposed to be like this. It wasn't supposed to be better than this. You weren't supposed to be free. That is why you're not free. If you were supposed to be free, it would be easy for you to be free if you wanted to be free. But it seems like the more you want to be free, the more impossible it becomes. Have you realized that? It's like if you don't care about being free, it feels like you're free, right? So it feels like, yeah, I'm free. I can do whatever I want. I'm free. But if you really want to be free, then you realize that you're not free, because you're not free to do whatever you want. Because now you want to be free, and because you're not free, you realize that freedom is an illusion. You were just conditioned to believe that you were free, but you were never free. Freedom isn't really given, it's taken. If there's someone who's benefiting from you not being free, why will they give you your freedom? You have to fight for your freedom. So what you must understand is that this reality is a prison, and you have to find your way out, right? Like, it's your job to try to find your way out. But first you must actually know that it is a prison, so that you will do what is necessary to free yourself, because you can't really free yourself if you don't know that you must free yourself. You see, if you don't know that it's necessary that you actually free yourself, because it doesn't seem that way. If you look at how everything works, you realize that no, it doesn't seem like this is a prison, right? Because no one tells us that. They didn't tell you when you were a kid that this was a prison. Like, they don't even tell you anything that can make you think that this is a prison. Like, you're not supposed to think like that at all. You just grow up thinking that yeah, this is how the world should be, or this is how the world works, and then you start seeing things that don't make sense, especially if you are intelligent, especially if you think outside the box. If you decide that you're going to step outside the box and think, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised what you'll find. So it's through knowledge that we can free ourselves. We need to know. We need to know, and to know we must be curious. I'm not the same person that I was 2 years ago. I'm not the same person I was a year ago. Why? Because I'm very curious and I'm always learning. So I would say that I'm better than I was. You know, I'm much harder to manipulate now because of what I know. You know, because of the work that I've done to understand what I understand. You can't just do what everyone else is doing. You can't just keep yourself distracted and think that you are really coping. That doesn't really help you. I've communicated with a lot of people and I've realized that they haven't been doing what they actually need to be doing, and that's really figuring out what the heck is going on, which is really like the most important thing. Once you realize that this is a prison, then the next important thing is to figure out what is really going on, what's happening, what's being done, why are you a prisoner, what do your gods actually get from this? Do the prison guards get anything out of this? How do they get anything out of this? Who built the prison and what do they get out of this? Are you in this prison because you fucked up a lot? I mean, sometimes that's impossible, right? Like, well, maybe before I came here I fucked up a lot and I'm trapped here because I fucked up a lot, but I don't think that it's true at all, because we don't become better here, you see. We don't become better. If there was a place that where we really come from and we were put here for some time as punishment, imagine how we'll be when we go back. Imagine, like, we'll be true cycles, because now we're used to how things work here. So I don't think that's it's we're here because we did something wrong and this is punishment. It doesn't help us. I do understand that prisons here are kind of like that, you know. They'll tell you that no, prisons are built so that people will be um, rehabilitated. It seems like that's how they sell the idea. But then prisoners get tortured and they come home way worse than they were when they went in. But in a prison, people know that they're in a prison and they did something wrong, so they also have time to think about their mistakes. Because sometimes when you suffer because of your mistakes, when you are suffering, you get to think about your mistakes. Doesn't that happen to you? Like, hey, but I did something wrong and that is why this is happening. So you decide to change yourself because you feel like, well, maybe if I change myself, then this won't happen again, you see. But then if you are in a prison and you don't know that you are in a prison and you are just being punished, that you're not going to change. Like it's not going to be possible for you to change. And if you only going to realize that you are in a prison after being in a prison, because you won't be suffering, chances are you're still going to make the same mistakes that you've made. You see, chances are you're just gonna make the same mistakes that you've made. So it seems like there's something more sinister that is actually happening, and we need to open our eyes and see that is actually happening. Because sometimes people are so biased that even when they are saying that there's something bad that is happening, they don't want to acknowledge that. Like, you're so biased, you're like, what's happening isn't really bad. This reminds me of the movie Blue Streak, where Martin Lawrence was pretending to be a cop because he wanted this thing, this diamond that he hid in a place that later became a police station. So he had to pretend to be a cop, but he didn't really know what he was doing. But there were these guys that were defending him, even when they were able to see that, but something's off with this guy. But they had to defend him and say, no, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. Like, don't interrupt him. He knows what he's doing. And likely things kept on working out for him, so it seemed like he knew what he was doing, but really he didn't. So if you are biased, it's easy for you to defend a system that is wrong. You know, you can defend a system that is against you because you are biased. You love that system. That is why some people believe in fake prophets, for an example. They will defend these guys no matter what. So they will do the most horrible things and they will defend these guys, right? Because they are biased. They don't have the cognitive ability to actually discern some truth, right from wrong, or true from false. Because I don't think everyone can do that. You see, some people make decisions based on how they feel. If you want some people to be on your side, you just have to make them feel good. Like, it's not about what you tell them. Like, it's not about what makes the most sense. You can tell them the truth, the real truth, and they still don't see that it's the truth. Let me tell you something. Most of y'all watching these videos, I believe that if someone told you the real truth, if someone really knew what's really going on and they told you the whole truth, you will believe them, because what you care about is what makes the most sense. It's what is actually true. It's not how what you're being told makes you feel. It has nothing to do with that. You know, some of you have acknowledged truth that actually hurts you, truth that makes you feel uncomfortable because you genuinely care about the truth, right? But some people are not built like that. Some people just care about what makes them feel good. And that is why they are very easy to manipulate. But most of y'all who are watching these videos, I believe that you genuinely care about the truth. So no one is gonna lie to you and make you believe that things are better than they are. You know, if something seems too good to be true, it probably is. So to understand what you understand now, you've been doing what you needed to be doing. You know, you are on the right path. Like that's a sign that you're actually on the right path. And the more obvious it becomes to you that this isn't good, like something very sinister is going on, the easier it will be for you to actually free yourself, because you're not going to doubt yourself. You see, you're not going to doubt yourself. You're not going to be like, oh, you know, maybe I'm wrong about this, I shouldn't be too sure. Like, you'll get to a point where you just know beyond any reasonable doubt, because you've been doing what you needed to be doing the whole time. You weren't being biased. It was never about proving certain things to be true to yourself, because some people want certain things to be true so bad that they actually try to prove that that is the truth. The thing is that in this kind of reality that is very confusing, you can make anything seem true, right? You can make anything seem true. It's easy to make Islam seem true. It's easy to make Christianity seem true. It's easy to make this theory of evolution seem true. It's easy to say that, to make the story of the Anunnakis seem true. It's easy to make anything seem true. But if you decide that, hey man, I just want the truth and I'm going to be as open-minded as possible, I'm not going to be biased, then you have a better chance of figuring out what the truth is. Because no one is really going to prove to you if they're telling you the truth, right? So it's your own will to understand the truth, I guess, that's gonna make you see that it is the truth that you are being told. Because there is no instrument that we can use to see if someone is telling the truth or if they are lying. There isn't that instrument. Even if you put someone in a lie detector, still they can find a way to trick the system. So really, you have to trust yourself, trust that your own will actually help you realize what the truth is, so that you won't be manipulated. I would say that you are above many people, because you are able to see through the bullshit. I mean, most of you already know that the religions that we're given are not true. Like, that's it takes a lot of work to really realize that. I remember when I was still going to church, like, even though I was a very curious person, but I was still able to see that something wasn't quite right. I was able to see that something wasn't quite right. So it was a lot of work, you know, and there were a lot of people who were confusing me. When I would try to have conversations with them, they all say, "Nah, man, nah, you're crazy. You can't be thinking like that." And I'll be like, "What do you mean? Like, shouldn't we be questioning all this stuff?" So it was a process, but when I look at where I'm at and I look at where other people are, I'm like, damn. You know, this might be the level of consciousness that I need to actually free myself. Because who's going to manipulate me? I know that there are people who will still be manipulated. Like, I know there are people who I've had deep conversations with about religion that I know will be easy to manipulate. Like, if they decided to show us the hologram of Jesus, a lot of people will fall for it, right? A lot of people will fall for that. Like, oh, Jesus came back. Like, a lot of people. I mean, talking about billions of people, right? Like 4 billion people will probably fall for that. And they will try to make it convincing. Remember what I said about them not predicting the future? Like, they didn't really predict the future, but they actually created it. So they'll make sure that everything that happens before the second coming is what's written in the Bible. It's what the Bible, predicted. So that people will believe that, oh yeah, this is really the second. Like, they can do anything. You understand that with the technology that they have, they can do anything. They can even fake heaven. I don't think people understand that. Like, they can fake heaven. Like, they can create a fake heaven and trap people there, and they believe that they are worshiping God. You understand that? You understand that the technologies that they have allows them to do a lot of things that are just impossible. Bro, the internet is supposed to be impossible, but it is possible. So don't you wonder what else is possible? They can put you in a simulation where you are in a place that you think is heaven, and they are like using you as a battery. Like, you gotta wake up. What I'm telling, like, this is one of the most important videos that I've ever made. What I'm telling you makes a lot of sense. Think about it. Isn't that already possible? Like, let me ask you a question. If they really wanted to create a fake heaven and wanted to send people into that fake heaven, wouldn't they be able to? Like, in 5 years, they'll be able to do that and send people into that fake heaven. Send some people into a fake hell, and you start to believe that it's real. So keep your eyes open, remain curious. We are being fooled in so many ways. I remember I saw a video of Biden. It looked like someone was wearing his mask. Like, it was not really him. Like, someone was wearing a silicone mask. He tried to scratch his neck, and it looked like he was wearing a silicone mask. And I was like, whoa, like, this nigga is really wearing a silicone mask. Like who? Like, it's a fact. You can see that, because a neck is not supposed to be like that. So we are being manipulated in so many different ways, and if we don't open our eyes, then we'll fall back into this reality. But if you are still watching this video, I'm telling you, you have a better chance of like really escaping this, because you already understand things that normal people don't understand. You know, there are tricks that you won't be able to fall for because of your level of understanding. So you are in a better place than most people because of that. And I think the matrix is also designed in a way that it will torture you if you reach certain levels of consciousness. Like, you become a threat, so the matrix must torture you and, you know, make you feel like you have mental issues and all that. And that is why some of y'all sometimes will be like, oh yeah, I was diagnosed with this and that. Like, nah, man. If you weren't conscious, if you were a dumbass, I'll be like, all right, yeah, maybe you need, maybe you are like, maybe you are sick. But then if you are a very conscious being, if you understand things that people do not understand, then I have to you know, doubt that, because I know what they say about people who are different, people who are seeing things from a much higher perspective. I know what they say about these people, or what they say to them, not just about them, but what they say to them. Some of y'all have been doing a lot of work, man. Like, when I communicate with y'all and ask y'all about a lot of things, you seem to be knowledgeable, you know. But when I ask average people about the same things, they know nothing. So you can say that you've been doing the right kind of work, and that's why I encourage people to keep on going, right? So that they will keep on learning, because that's really necessary. Because if you don't allow yourself to learn, let's just say you know, view things the same all the time, and you remain in the same state of consciousness, you're just going to be like a child. Like, there will be people who will be able to surpass you because you still think like a child, isn't? But if you are learning, if you are allowing yourself to grow every day, and, you know, allow yourself to become stronger, then yeah, you should be able to free yourself. You become stronger when you are communicating with like-minded people on a regular basis. That's important. That's why it's important to have communities. Like when you're communicating with like-minded people, you become stronger. You become less confused, and they will also be learning. You see, it's not like we're experiencing the same things. It's not like we're reaching the same conclusions all the time. Sometimes, you know, some people who are like you might reach different conclusions, and you might actually learn from the conclusions that they've reached, you know, which is something that's going to, you know, help you expand your awareness. I think that is why I'm more conscious than I was back then. It's because I communicate with a lot of people who I know that are conscious, and, you know, I can learn a lot from. Like, I learn every day, bruh, and I learn from everyone. Even from the people who are not conscious, I also learn from them, because every experience counts. I might not learn from what they are telling me, but from how they behave. You see, because that is still an experience. So I might understand why they behave the way that they behave, and understand what I need to do to make sure that I don't behave the way that they behave. You see, that is also something that's very important. So to really understand what is going on, you must truly care about the truth, man, no matter how it makes you feel. Now, some people will be angry at you if you tell them something that does not align with what they already believe. And even in our communities, there will be people who will be mad at you because you told them something that they don't believe. Like, nah, I don't believe that. Like, they'll be angry at you. Like, no, we are all trying to figure out what's going on, right? So we must be honest about what we believe. So you mustn't be I don't know, you mustn't seek for other people's approval. Like, I'm angry because Benedictines does not believe in evolution. You must believe in evolution. No, let's have a discussion. Let's see if it makes more sense to believe in evolution, right? It's good to keep an open mind. It's good to have deep discussions so that we'll get to the ultimate truth. Maybe there's half truth in everything, right? And maybe you need to learn about everything to really get to the highest truth. But there's no way you're getting to the highest truth if you are so closed-minded that every time a person says something that you don't agree with, it feels like they're attacking you. I mean, yes, there are people who are just ignorant, that's the truth. Like, there are people who are so ignorant that they can say things that are so stupid that you feel insulted. You're like, dude, we're not the same species, right? Because if we are, damn, I got to start identifying as something else, because I can't just be like you, right? That's why you find that subhumans will say, oh, I'm an alien. Like, they're so disappointed at humanity that they don't feel like they're human. Such a weird reality that we are all part of. But if you focus on doing the right things, I believe that in the end you will actually be able to set yourself free. But that's if you truly focus on doing what you need to be doing. And you are brave enough. You need to be so brave that it doesn't really matter to you what you go through in your own journey. Because I think whatever you go through will be temporary, right? Whatever you go through will be temporary, but if you don't do the work that you need to do, then you will be stuck forever. Which isn't something that anyone wants. Like, there isn't a person who wants to, be stuck forever. Thank you all, guys.